Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. We're doing the DLC elements, trying to finish everything up. Last time we did Bizarro, which would leave Man of Steel and Batman the 75th anniversary, but I have like 11 achievements and I get 3 for each one of these. So that would be 5 achievements that either are to some level that is either only accessible via the moon base or through doing something else. So we might have to do some extra achievement hunting on the final episode.
Once a great planet,
next episode
now stands on the brink of destruction. I, Maximus, Jor-El, must try to save my son Cal by sending him off-planet with all our civilization's genetic knowledge hidden in his tiny baby pants. If I can get home and put him inside our last pod, he'll be safe.
See, I don't know if this is supposed to be the movie Man of Steel.
That should do the trick. It can't fail.
Yeah, I guess that's what this is. This is supposed to be based on the Man of Steel movie, which nobody liked at all.
Like my trusty space dragon. Senseless waste.
That's another case, though,
you drongo,
where you would.
Inside.
Why would you even be advertising the Man of Steel movie, which is like a rated R movie to kids?
Can't stand uninvited house guests.
The Man of Steel movie is the movie where they needed to do some reshoots, and the actor playing Superman had grown a mustache for another part, and the production company of the other production wouldn't let him shave the mustache, and they tried to do this awful low effort CGI blur effect that anybody with Photoshop could probably have done a better job on it to fix it. Seems very weird to have Superman's father firing a gun, but in all fairness, Superman's father has been depicted in many different ways
The front door
in many different
using
stories.
puzzles so complex that only a machine like Helix could possibly ever solve it. I hoped Lara and Cal were still safe inside.
Okay. This is one of those weird mouse cursor puzzles that really should have never been existed, with a custom mouse cursor on top of it, since this would be a game that would have been focused towards consoles. Yeah, I kind of felt like there was a bit of a hiccup even there. A little bit of a lag. Yep. Definitely felt a little bit of a lag. Are we getting back to the micro stuttering issue already? Oh my goodness, I think we are. I think we straight up are getting back to the micro stuttering
Zod
issue.
had no idea of my true plans for the Codex, but he seemed determined to stop me at all costs.
Wow.
In some ways,
Completely brand new
he
computer.
impacted
There's
my
something that
existence.
must taint the computer or taint the... I imagine it's the 3D RAM caches that are like automatically saved. But yeah. We're fairly quickly down the path where I'm just going to finish these achievements and then like not try and play any other LEGO game. Yep. And once again, the fact that I'm even seeing this level of micro stuttering, which I have to call it that. I mean, I can exit out of the program. I bet it won't change anything.
I began to wish I'd come in through the back door.
I do not recommend playing LEGO games on PC. I think you're better off just playing them, getting a used copy on Xbox 360 and playing it on an Xbox Series S or an Xbox One. or even playing them on the Switch. Probably the Switch would make a lot of sense. I don't know if all Lego games are even released for the Nintendo Switch, but I imagine you'll get at least a decent collection of the games. But yeah, even if this isn't quite the exact same issue with the micro stuttering that has happened in the past.
Cal in the escape pod.
Interesting, it just jumped to a cutscene.
Changing first though. Zod again? Hasn't he got better things to do? Like get a decent haircut? Or not the cradle? Took Lara and I ages to put that together. Sweetheart, can you remember where we put the instructions for that? Such damage. I had once considered naming my child Zod. Lara argued that we should call him Neil before we both settled for Cal. I definitely choose Neil before Zod now.
See, that's a long-winded joke. So, yeah, even if this were a case where all I have to do is exit out of the game and just try and refresh the RAM on the computer, having to do that every level is just way too demanding. We play as the mother. She looks like an elf more than a Kryptonian. She's carrying just this tiny little, what is by today's standards an old-fashioned way of depicting a baby with Lego pieces. They have since come out with a very cute baby minifig that is really small, and yeah, they haven't even made a new Lego game since then, so like there's been several new pieces added to the Lego possibilities and sets, but you have to be a pretty big Lego fan to get excited about a few new pieces. They added like a wheelchair, a baby,
I'd heard of rocking the cradle, but this was
a
ridiculous.
cradle.
Repairing it would be vital. Our plan was to succeed. One of Zod's most loyal henchmen and a formidable combatant. Shame he smelled worse than a Rondor beast. Feora. A warrior so tough, she was rumored to have taken her vacations on what was left of Wakethor.
Yeah, and I don't know if these characters ever really show up in the comics or not, but I don't recognize any of the Friends of Zod characters. This is just a traditional Lego fight sequence. We don't even see that very often.
Cradle
There was
finally
a micro stutter.
This was our only chance.
That's another one. Now, in fairness, I will give this game an out. I am also doing some heavy-duty hard drive repair on an external hard drive right now while I'm recording this. So it is possible, although highly unlikely, that is causing the trouble. Yeah, she just walks here, and am I supposed to press B or something? It says as Laura, holding baby Kal-El, walk up to this part. I guess you have to jump up and press B.
Goodbye, my son. Remember to write. No, wait. Never mind.
Yeah, this is so crazy too that this would just all of a sudden start micro stuttering when none of the other levels have done that, which really just makes me think that there is probably some internal code for this level that is different than the previous level.
General Zod arrived at last. I couldn't let him stop our mission.
Yeah. And can she fight? Yes, but she also has a gun. Once again, it's just weird to have them all have guns. But I guess they kind of would, because on their own planet, in most instances of the Batman story, they don't have the superpowers. They don't have the ability to fly, or laser beam eyes, or frost breath, or super strength, or anything like that. I don't know how I'm supposed to take this guy out. It doesn't feel like there's any real trick to it. Like, sometimes in these games you would have them, you'd let them attack one character and then shoot him with the other. But then awkwardly they have... Yeah, I guess that's what they wanted you to do. They had 3 characters there.
Good luck, son. Your mother's left a bunch of hologram doohickeys in the pod to teach you how to do stuff. And there's some holiday snaps from that trip to Kandor we took. Wherever you end up, make sure you wear plenty of sunscreen. And try not to lose the genetic codex I've hidden in your DNA.
And that element of story telling, I don't think is consistent with Superman, that he has a genetic codex in his DNA. Alright, let's go and skip that, and we'll go ahead and skip this. We didn't get Analyst in Peril. It might be that the micro-stuttering really has more to do with OBS, the recording software I have, interacting in some weird way with the Lego games. So maybe I need to close out OBS in between each recording and reset it. It certainly is a thought, but I'll give that an experiment in between this episode and the next episode, but it is also not going to be my effort to try and fix this problem. I've spent hours upon hours over many years ago trying to fix the micro-stuttering issue, and
a great planet,
was never really able to fix it completely. Even going to extreme levels of lowering the resolutions and trying patches and things like that. And for my new computer, I've played more than enough games to know that I generally have... No, I don't even have to say generally. I have not had a single problem with any other game. So if it's a Lego only issue, it's still going to just be a Lego only issue. You need a Batman that can dig. Which I guess is this Batman with the claws. And it seems like there just is no fast dig option. Okay. Come on, Batman. Give me a Batman that will pull up silver. You have this shiny silver thing. Yeah, you have this shiny silver thing that I would assume Batman could throw an explosive on. And yet I'm pressing the X and B buttons, holding it down. Trying my very best to make sure I've tested every single character's ability. Feels like that might be her ability, but it doesn't seem like that's working. So I think it probably would be best to just swing to Captain Boomerang at this point, and unless there's something like way up there that's supposed to synergize with. It's interesting that there's two different things you can hit with that. Alright, we'll just switch over to Captain Boomerang. And he can blow that up just fine. Now. So I assume what's going to happen here is that in free play you can do this twice. Yep, it just waits a second and then it won't. Then you can do it again, but you can't do it with that character. And there's really no way that these puzzles could be actually difficult. And these characters are making the humming sound as much as I sometimes make a humming sound, and boy, I think that's fairly annoying. Now, we didn't see any micro stuttering until we started going into this section, and it would be kind of funny if now in free play we don't see any micro stuttering again. Like, if that is the case, that really just goes to show that there's like there's kind of no consistency to any of this at all. Yeah, I'm not seeing the micro stuttering. So either it's because I've got another program running that caused the micro stuttering and Lego's blameless, or there's just some randomness. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually some crazy DRM. If I wouldn't be crazy, because there has been an issue very recently around Resident Evil Village, where there's been a proven, or as close to proven as you're ever going to get it, example of poorly implemented DRM that tries to connect to the internet. Up there's a micro stuttering again. And in the attempt to connect to the internet and do digital rights management, it creates micro stuttering / incorrect frame pacing. The fact that that started happening as soon as we started fighting people might be an indication of that, but it very well might not be. It's kind of impossible to tell one way or the other. But because the problem is, it does seem like it's stuttering as soon as new particles start showing up on the screen. Which makes it kind of feel like it's out of video RAM or something. Whenever there's new animations, but also you get new animations when there are new characters on the screen. So this might be a case where if I was just playing the game without recording, I might not have any micro stuttering at all. And it's a bit of a waste of time, but I think there might be an argument to do that. Close out my recording software completely. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be hitting. Did I miss something? See, I can try and put out that fire that way. But she doesn't have a frost breath when she's flying. We keep seeing things breaking and leaving little Lego pieces. I don't know if that's supposed to mean something or what. Each character. We just played this level. There's really no reason here that like, there's nothing to scan or anything. It really wouldn't be a case of breaking something this far back. Oh, so I guess it was just a case of I needed to punch, put out the fire before I could punch things.
I can get.
Well, that's frustrating to say the least. So yeah, we're having micro stuttering show up, which honestly that's a nightmare in itself. And that really just goes to show the exact thing I didn't want to see happen. Which, yeah, that's just super annoying.
Good job, fellow crime fighter. Now I really must be going. Adam West, away!
Go.
Adam West. Adam West.
Apparently I had to punch it to get it to turn into a minifig. That's weird. So I need to be able to travel to the area to the left, which probably means I need to be able to fight. Fight through the guys first. And since I have nothing better to talk about, I'll mention that Kal-El was more than likely, as a name, the House of El, E-L, probably coming from like Hebrew and Jewish tradition. El is the name of the Judeo-Christian God, and that's where the phrase El Shaddai, meaning God Almighty, comes from, and I'm sure plenty of other phrases. And certainly that would make sense that Jor-El is supposed to be kind of the Christian, Judeo-Christian God, and Superman is supposed to be kind of like Jesus Christ type character, which, I mean, if anything, I think Superman as a character is just terribly overpowered and overwritten. It was weird. I'm beating up the character, but it's not counting as a hit. And in previous LEGO games, what would happen is somebody would start punching you, and then you would switch to the other one, and then, yeah, you would take that as an opportunity to let's see, you take that as an opportunity to hit the other character. But it doesn't seem like that's working. If anything, I don't know if this is simply just wave-based or what. Because it just jumps out of the way. Yeah, and then I was able to do damage on her. And then I was able to do damage on her. I suppose what you would want to do with Batman, if you make a character so overpowered, my guess and my suggestion would be to remove powers. However you can figure out how to do that. Like, just find a trick to depower Superman quite a bit. I don't know if you do that by getting rid of his ability to fly, getting rid of his super strength, yeah, getting rid of his laser eye beams, and getting rid of his frost breath. Like, those are all very typically known powers. There's gotta be some way to open this that doesn't just end the level. But it could certainly be that there's another secret way to reach that area, or it could be also it's this direction. No, that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, and of course that's what Lex Luthor always did, was find ways to use different kryptonites or other elements to... Maybe I just need to take this to the next step and do this part, but not do the next part. Yeah, that's probably what I'm supposed to do. Who can activate this? This is going to be very annoying if this finishes the level. No, it doesn't. Yeah. I suppose you would just weaken Batman. Like, well, yeah, definitely weaken Batman too while you're at it, but weaken Superman so that he can do all of his things, but they're not effective. He can burn people, but he can't burn a hole through people with his laser eyes. He's strong enough to be to be in an average fight with an average guy, but not particularly any stronger than that. He has to start working out and exercising. He has to eat right and follow like actual diets. He can't fly anymore, but he can like jump fairly high and fairly fast. Just bring him down to being a mid-tier superhero instead of a top-tier superhero, and I think you would have something there. Go out of your way to show a lot of sequences where Superman potentially just is not even a good assistant superhero character. Frankly, if you even just like made him allergic to water, poison all of Earth's water while all of the oceans is kryptonite, enough to weaken him, enough that he can't do anything if you are in the ocean. Like, the only thing that has ever slightly slowed down Superman in the comics would have been his own morals and his own mentality. He's weak to magic also, but that doesn't get used much. So you could just give him incredible phobias and fears, fear of failure, depression. A depressed Superman might balance him out quite a bit, where he's the person who could do everything if he tried, but he just can't get out of bed in the morning to actually try. They definitely have been way more willing to experiment with Wonder Woman's story than they have Superman's story or Batman's story. And DC basically doesn't care about any of their other characters, so that they're more than willing to let someone completely rewrite some of the other characters. Once again, we're in just a situation where I guess I'm just supposed to tap the gun button a bunch, which is very weird for a Lego game.
I never thought
I don't
that'd
think
come.
I've ever seen that before, where it's just tap 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 the gun button as much as possible. Notice how I skipped the cutscene, and yet the subtitles are still crawling, which that's not the worst bug in the world, but it's still a bug and worth pointing out. Yeah. According to my recording software, it's using 439 megabytes of video RAM. I assume that would be video RAM and not computer RAM. One or the other doesn't really matter, because I believe my 1080 has 8 gigabytes, so that would mean less than half of 1 gigabyte is being used by OBS, and 8 gigabytes of video RAM is more than this game could have ever expected any computer to have as far as video RAM. So yeah, it really shouldn't be the problem. Alright, well, once again, these levels are not going very long, so as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.